What's up, y'all? We doing I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm trying different things, see what works best. So that's new setup, doing whole stand-up. I guess you can say I've been preach type of approach. But we're more about my approach to dating or attempt to get long-term relationship, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be using my experience for the most part, from this chick I ran across on Facebook like 3-4 days ago. And what you'll see is this. First of all, let's talk about, is it working so far? Because I've been using it for about a month myself. I don't know, because it's made. Well, I structured it purposely so that the 6 month, year to a year and a half situations that usually flame out, that they are just deflected immediately without the whole year long, 2 year long, oh, this, we should have been done with this type of situation. So the fact that nothing has sprung up from it, that I kind of feel some of them would have eventually made it to something that would have eventually ended. I want to say it's working, but the 0% success rate is technically tied into working. I probably need to refine the definition of sex for this, but anyway, so I just simply always throw out there asking, what are they looking for, and go from there. And I'm going to jump to a part where I think is most representative of what I'm trying to display here or get out. She says, I'm kind of like, whatever happens, happens. I'm not forcing nothing. If it is just friends, cool, without the L, because why would you put the L there? More time. If it's more, that's cool, without the L. And this is a prime example of why I rather just be by myself forever than to go through this, the typical dating thing. Because it's like, whatever happens, happens. I looked on her profile. She has kids. I don't know how many. I didn't ask her, because I pretty much knew it was done deal. But if you have children, especially, why are you still going, oh, if it happens, happens? And she's 32. Let's go. Let's speed it up, move it along. What do you mean if it happens, it happens? This is your livelihood. Do something. And that's coming from somebody who largely just wings it as they go through life. I see the flaw that people are using in terms of, I don't know, I guess, finding something or whatever. But then I just asked her, what do you consider to be forced? She says, well, a relationship just flows naturally. Nothing feels forced in it. Okay, here's the issue. Here's the issue with that way of thinking. Nothing feels forced in it. Nothing. This feels like a spinoff of, hey, I just just all that bullshit tied into one. I want to find my soulmate. The relationship needs to really just be perfect. Because, listen, arguments are natural. So does that feel forcing it? Because our people bump heads all the time, especially if you're with someone long term. So what is the argument going to feel forced? Is having, let's say, someone gets a job somewhere and they need to move or whatever. I can't come up with good examples off the top of my head. My bad. But saying that it shouldn't feel forced, that's fucking stupid. Making a decision is not forcing something. It's making a decision. It's coming up with an idea of what you want and moving towards that. How is that a force? But I'm pretty sure if we go through, I don't know, you go through the pictures, you see all the force is not a problem for people. They just don't. I think it's more so responsibility. I think that's more the problem here. I said at some point you have to make a decision. Why not be intentional about it? She says, making a decision about what and okay. How are you asking me what and okay? The first, like, why do you? Did you hear me or not? But what do you? We're talking about relationships here. So what do you mean make a decision about what? Do you want a relationship? What do you want out of it? What do you want in it? What do you make a decision about that? So let's skip down. Give me a second here. So we pick up, and I explained to her because she had to do something. I pick up and I said, she said, well, so what do you mean intentional about what? Your goal of being in a relationship or a marriage. She says, attention about my goals in my relationship. I don't know why she repeated that. I don't know if that was a question. She didn't put the question mark. I don't fucking know. I said about obtaining one. I just assumed at that point she meant, am I talking about her intentions within her relationship? Which, again, why would you ask that question? She said, I don't get it. So I just go ahead and explain it down to her. I sent her my process that I've put together so far. And she questioned me about going through marriage counseling without having met the person. Okay, here's the thing. That's a good question. But if you've gone through the first two, you're talking about, everything that you need, your zero tolerance, all this and that, and where you want to get to. Why can't you? You can do it virtually as well. Why can't you do that? Now, step 3, honestly, real quick here. That I forgot to put / like see each other's family or something like that. But really, the purpose of step 3 is really just a stressor. It's put there purposely to get people to go, okay, let's challenge what you two have been talking about thus far, right? And then meeting, one of the things about meeting the family is that if you're doing that, how often are you going to want to take somebody new, like, yeah, I think I'm going to get something long term with this person? And not just a casual, like your mom just stops by or pops over real quick and she sees a chick there. No, you're actively taking her there, right? So imagine that would be really like, at some point, your parents, your siblings, they're going to look at you like, dude, it's like the 7th one. How many times whatever, right? It's going to get annoying. At some point, you have to shit get off the pot, I think is the same. So that's why I say you should be able to do all this without even having the first date, right? She said number 2, which is first, is basically paperwork. I call it the paperwork part, where you go through your health screenings, your background checks, and your finances. And she says, if you can't be honest about that shit, shaking my head, I don't want to be with you, LOL. And see, that seems forced. It doesn't flow naturally. It does seem organic, where everything just naturally happens. Yes. What are you talking about? What the fuck? Like, having conversations in a structured manner, how is that not flowing naturally? So we're talking about the fairy tale butterflies. Oh, I know I like him. Okay, did your baby daddy die? Because that's the only thing that can explain, that will justify you saying let's flow naturally when you have a baby daddy. But I'm pretty sure what we go over later, that even if they just casually broke up, would explain why she still thinks this way. But to say, if you can't be honest about that shit, I don't want to be with you. Ma'am, that's the point. That's the point of even doing this. To actually put it right there on the table in front of you and not waste time and put pressure on each other to actually be when people's body language going over stuff like this is going to tell you quite a bit, if not everything. So that response made absolutely no sense. She said, and see, now that seems forced. Okay. It seems that she's relating force to simply getting a task done at this point. Remember, we're talking about sitting down. Okay, what are your deal breakers? Here are mine. Here's my zero tolerance. What is your finance situation look like, and how could we make this work if we were to move forward? Simply getting a task done to her is forced. Damn. I asked her if it was general or something specific about number 2, because remember, is more than just one thing there. Oh shit. I'm about to like a message and have her know I'm about to read through this. Oops. She says, number 2 in general, if you can't be honest about your background and your sexual history and your financial situation, whether good or bad, then you're not being honest with yourself. I'm not a judgmental person, so. Okay, first of all, the whole be honest about your sexual history is kind of hilarious coming from the group of people who say I can just lie about it. That's how ironic. Anyway, but it says if you can't be honest about that stuff or be honest with yourself, I'm not a judgmental person. I don't think she gets what I'm trying to say or get like the point of this whole entire process. I think, yes, if the person is lying, and obviously you don't want to be there. If the person is lying, I don't want to be there. Like, I'm lost as to why she keeps saying if you're lying. No shit. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going because I really don't understand why she kept doing it. She apparently she didn't get it. She didn't get it. Maybe that's my bad on explaining it. I don't know. The reason for going over, that's the reason for going over them. It's best to avoid being surprised by this stuff. She said, no, I'm saying as topics of conversation come up, if you can't be honest, then, because that's how I get to know a person is talking to them. She gets to know a person by talking to them, but if talking to them in this manner, it feels forced, therefore she can't get to know them by asking the questions directly. I'm hoping that what she really means is she can't really fill out somebody's body language in this way of interacting, is what I'm hoping she's saying, because that's the only way I personally can make sense of her response to this. And then she says, as conversations come up, what's wrong with direct? I need that explained to me. What's wrong with direct? What's wrong with literally saying, hey, how many kids you got? Should kids just naturally come up? And there are a bunch of people who think like this, which is why we have all the annoying nonsense now. So many people going, oh, I'll just wait until I'm a year in. Oh, you got 7 baby mamas? Why don't you ask that shit when he asks you out? I'll get to that. I'll get to that later. I said, okay, you don't like bringing up topics and having them front and center, is what I asked her. She said, I ain't finna ask, like, have you ever had an STD? Why not? I guess because I could just lie about it. Now y'all see how stupid that sounds. But as topics of conversations come up, I'm expecting that person to be honest flat out. But why you can't just ask them flat out and hope that they're honest flat out? Damn. And I expressed to her, letting things come up seems like a waste of time to me. She responds, every man I come into contact is not meant to be a relationship or marriage with. I don't look at it like that. I can be getting to know someone and it turned out to be something more as just a friend, just cause it may be a financial situation with him don't mean I'ma just never talk to again. Here's the problem with this. Here's the problem with this. Right here, right now, I realize in my head, I start thinking, okay, this just proved exactly why this is an absolute must do, at least for me. Because somebody like this, more specifically a woman, since that's what she is, you will get somewhere with her. Look at how she's thinking. Because you come across her path, you're there for a reason. So you're going to get somewhere with her. And let's say that somewhere is a situationship, because remember, she doesn't want to define anything really. She probably doesn't even call her baby daddy her baby daddy. You probably just call that dude like, I don't know. I know him. I fucked him. I had a kid, but not really like, he's around, This type, and this is really like most people today, I think. She allows people, but in general, in this specific situation, men, to just exist in her life, around her. So if this is your girl, you always just got dudes just floating around, being there because to her he has a purpose for her. Okay, so let's use one of her examples. It may be financial situation. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Y'all get money together? Is he your employer? Co-work? Like, do y'all have a business together or something? Or do y'all just kind of get money together? Or is he your connection? Do you see how stupid this is? A dude can literally just make up a reason to be around your girl, and because she thinks like this, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. And she's open, willing, accept this. This is dumb. This is fucking stupid. Can you imagine this conversation or this argument with her? Who is that guy? He's just someone, he's my weed man. Why does he call you randomly? He just wants to know if I need some weed. Yeah, tell him stop doing that. If you need weed, you'll call him. Like, what? Just like, stop. Damn, you're controlling. The weed man just wants to make some sales to know if I need some weed. Like, that's the conversation you're going to have with her. If she smokes weed, hypothetically, I don't know. I said, why would you keep him as a friend? She says, they don't always stay as in shit. We just stop talk and being associated with one another because not everyone is meant for a relationship. I could turn out to be some networking shit, a teaching moment, anything. Your girl is going to get fucked randomly at so many bus stops. It's ridiculous, dude. That game shit, this is who it works on. This is who it works on. He gonna have her feeling like they're soulmates because he asked her for a cigarette. Fuck. A teaching moment about what? I remember listening to Patrice O'Neal. He said something about he told his girl never to argue with another guy for like any reason, because something about he shouldn't be able to control you emotionally, stuff like that. Right here, right now is where this absolutely makes sense. I can look at how she's talking and responding to me and going, if a dude could get into a slight argument with her on purpose, and because she might think that's a teaching moment, if he start talking some fake deep shit, he fucking on a bus. Just like that. True too. But seriously, like this is how all that happens. All the nonsense, all the mess. This is how it happens. Because you just let people linger along. And this is proof that I'm not high. I don't know why my eyes look like that. But this is proof that my shit works. Now, where did I originally, because I was thinking, when did I start even like looking at like this, right? Over the years, even like, you can go back, I can probably go back 10 years ago. I remember like one example is how they would debate about the men pays for the first date as if they pay for the second. They said they did, but they switched that tune today. But they say it showed that you can provide. And I'm like, no, it don't. I could have borrowed the money for that. That could have been like a I don't know, a tax refund, whatever. I remember when I used to do the whole go to community college thing, and they would give you grants. My refund check was like $1,000. I could take you on a few dates with that. Like, that doesn't teach you shit. Providing, you want to know somebody can provide for you? Look at the bank account. Look at the work history. Look, sit down with them and see if you can come up with a plan and say, is it possible? Taking you on a date don't mean shit. It doesn't. You can date. Another response that I would have for that thought is like, well, what does it show what you do? If all I'm showing you on this date, or one of the things I'm showing on the date is I provide, okay, wouldn't it make more sense that I bought the food and then you came and cook it? If we're actively showing each other we have meritable assets or skills or whatever, wouldn't things like this be the more reasonable way to go about it? I guess just keep going through the whatever, for fuck's sakes, merry-go-round that is dating. One flaw that I've noticed is you can only really do this online. Because I thought about, all right, if I was to approach a chick like this, like face to face, do I get her number and wait to say it over the phone? Because that would be like, I mean, at that point you might as well just keep swiping. Because with this being very new, it sounds weird, but it's only because it's new. Like dating go back 1,000 years ago, dating sounds fucking stupid to people. So, but yeah, bringing up this would sound very thirsty is what I was playing in my head. So, I guess I do need to revise something, maybe. I don't know. Keep y'all updated. Be right, not positive. Out.